computer, and then bing. Okay, it's
All right,
recording.
we're going. Awesome. Well, hey, thank you so much for coming on, man. Really appreciate you doing this. You're like by far the biggest guest I've ever had on the show, and I'm like just a little starstruck and kind of like in awe that this is happening right now. um, I remember the first time I found out who you are was because I actually got one of those pit workout DVDs. Like Chuck Liddell was on the front, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get to like train with Chuck Liddell. And then it's like he's there in the video. He's like, hey guys, this is my coach. He'll show you everything. And I was like, well, oh, that was it. Well, this guy's pretty cool too. All right. But yeah, now I'm talking to that guy. So hey, thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate
No
it.
problem, man. Hey, did you watch the fights this week?
Yeah, like well, not all of them. Like I missed some of the ones on Wednesday because I was working, but I caught the Ben Rothwell fight versus OSP. That was crazy. And then I did catch I did catch like all of the main events, and I got most of the ones from last night.
Did you get the main event? Did you see Glover's fight?
Yeah, dude. Congratulations once again. I was yeah, I remember because I was actually I was messaging you on Facebook because I'd hopped on one of your live streams earlier and I'd asked you like what the fight to make was if Khabib was out, and I said I thought Justin Gaethje, and you were like, nah, he's not the one. And I was like, what? And then I messaged you back on Wednesday, like not even thinking about it, like you said the Justin Gaethje fight wouldn't be good, and then he won, and you're like, nope, still don't like it. I'm like, what? And I was like, what do you think of the fights tonight though? And I like didn't realize until later when like I saw it come on, I was like, oh my God, he's there. No wonder he isn't responding.
I was in Glover's corner.
Right, you were in the corner and everything. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, but the Gaethje fight was exactly what I thought, and it didn't go. I didn't think it went good at all. I don't like to see brutal fights like that. To me, it's like it just makes me hurt. You know, they hurt each other.
Yeah, dude,
I don't like to see that. I thought it was a terrible fight.
That was hard. It was hard to watch.
Like, it was very hard to watch.
I mean, like, I didn't think Gaethje. I knew it would be tough, but like he put a beating on him, and like he was just like by the end, Tony was just limping away and everything. He looked like a wounded deer. I was just like, oh, buddy.
See, so I told you it was a terrible fight.
Yeah.
I knew it'd be bad. I didn't think it would go that way. I thought it might have gone the other way with Gaethje getting hurt, but either way, I don't want anybody to get hurt, and I definitely didn't like that fight, but whatever.
Oh yeah, no, I mean it was definitely like an entertaining fight, but it was like terrible in the sense that it was just like, oof, especially with no crowd. That makes it so much weirder, right?
Yeah.
Like, you hear all the punches and everything, and like there's no crowd or anything. You just hear this guy like groaning as he's like getting. I'm just like, oh. I've been like watching this a long time, but like it's different.
Yeah, it was. And it was different being there too. Shit. I've never worked a corner with no crowd.
Yeah, I know. What is that? Like, I was gonna say, because like, do you ever wonder about like, you talking like code or anything? Like, because the other corner can like obviously hear everything you're saying.
We have little. I mean, we have a couple little code words and shit. But I mean, to be honest, like by the time the fight starts, you know, unless I see something blatant, like that spinning back kick, I like that one. You know, we were calling for that, and then I was calling for certain things. We have a code for that, and then but most things just you yell it, and you just it's gonna do it. And when somebody's in a cage, you know, if you have too many codes in there, like some guys yell like 6, 3, 2, 1. You know, it's just you're not thinking like that as a fighter. I don't think there's any benefit to that really. So fighter's gonna go. So
right. I don't know. I think there's something to that. Well, it might work for me. Personally, I haven't been in like a professional fight or anything. I like sparred and like trained a little bit, but I used to do like those. You ever heard of those Boss Rutan training tapes?
Yeah.
Where you just like call out combos and stuff.
Yeah, I could see him doing that. I could see him doing that. Yeah. Like he has that. He has that that punching thing where you have all different directions.
I want to get one.
He's an innovator, that guy.
Yeah. Those are cool. I had the gym I trained at before I moved here had one. I don't think it was that brand, but it was one very similar with like that and like the little thing you can throw knees on and everything. Ugh.
Yeah.
I don't have a heavy bag or anything. I haven't ever since lockdown. I haven't had like a gym or anything. I just like miss hitting the heavy bag, like
Yeah.
hard. It just feels good.
Go.
But yeah, now I have space. I got a small apartment.
Yeah.
But
Put it in the back seat, put it in the car, and then go to a park and hang it from a tree. We used to do
no
that.
car either. I'll just carry it and hang it from a tree like a man.
You have a car?
No, man, I live in DC. There's like public transit everywhere. There's like no reason to have a car. And also, well, okay, I had a car and then I got it used from the dealership. I thought there was like I got the warranty and everything, and then like the part on it that broke wasn't covered by the warranty. So I had this thing just like sitting around. I'm making payments on it, trying to save money to fix it. Meanwhile, and I was trying to move to DC and everything. Meanwhile, like the reason we're moving to DC is my wife's moving here for school, and uh, so I'm like staying behind. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna like stay and like I'm gonna work 2 jobs here for a minute and like try to pay off this car and get it fixed. And like just so much stuff happened that like I just was never able to do it. And yeah, it got repoed a few weeks ago. I just called them. I was just like, look, I can't. But yeah, DC is awesome because there's public transit. Like, so it's so easy to get around here.
Yeah.
And I have an electric scooter. Between those things, I get around pretty good. But anyway, speaking of fights,
What?
I was gonna say like just getting back to the like the fights and stuff. Like you were talking about like just like the violent fights. I mean, the fight that you cornered was like one of those really violent fights too. I mean, like Anthony Smith, like he came out strong and then like started fading and you know, went back to his corner, said he was spitting his teeth out and stuff. And I heard Glover said something about like, hey, sorry man, it's business.
It is part of the game.
Part of the game.
And then and then Anthony said, "Yeah, it is what it is." I mean, they're both great fighters, and I don't like to see those kind of fights. It wouldn't have gone the other way like that because I would have stopped it, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, he has a great corner. It's just, you know, just different than I am.
Definitely a different style.
Yeah. So yeah, we're different corners, but he loves his guys too. He just, you know, like not everybody thinks the way I do, and if they did, if every coach was like I am, then all fights would be stopped too early, and it would be bad. And then sometimes fights are stopped too late. Sometimes the fight stopped too early. So usually the referee stops the fight too early. Very seldom does a corner. So I don't know what's better or worse. You know, I do it my way. I'm not going to change after all this time, and I don't expect anyone else to. So, you know, if that was, you know, I do what I feel right, and so does Mark. Mark's Anthony's trainer, and he does what he thinks right. And I don't think one's better or worse. It's just different.
No, for sure. Yeah, I definitely would have thrown the towel on that fight, and like probably the Tony fight too. I remember like I watched a video like right after it happened. Chael Sonnen recorded like a whole rant about it. He was like furious that they didn't throw in the towels. Like, what are you trying to prove? He came to your corner, beaten and bloody, told you he's spitting out teeth. What does that tell you? You know he's not going to win at this point. He's like, what are you trying to prove? That he's a tough guy? Like
I already talked to Chael.
He came out like complete in his underwear to fight in front of millions of people on TV. Like he's proven that he's a tough guy already. Like you let him live to fight another day. Like a fight like that is gonna like take years off of a fighter's career. So I
know. I already talked to Chael. I talked to Chael about it. Yeah. I talked to Chael about it, and I talked to Mark.
Oh yeah.
I talked to them both. So I mean, all I know is the fighter was okay with it. He thought you know, and to be honest, like that's all that really matters is the fighter was okay with it, and I know Mark really cares about his fighter, So, I mean, there's nothing much else to say. It's like, maybe you should have stopped it, maybe you shouldn't, but the fighter's okay with it, and Mark loves his fighter. So, it's nobody else's business. And let's not forget, Saturday, um, Dominic Cruz yelled at the referee for stopping his fight too early. So,
Yeah.
so what are you gonna do? I mean, it's too early, too late. I mean, everybody's supposed to stop it just so you don't upset the fighter or the fans. So it's like you can't win. It's gonna be.
Yeah.
It's gonna in every fight you stop. It's gonna be too. I've stopped fights for my guys that are way too early. I've been yelled at by the doctor and the referee for stopping the fight too early. I don't care. I'll stop it anyway. So I don't know what's better or worse. It's just different.
Right. Especially, I mean, like, you've been around a long, like, you can kind of like see where it's going, and like you're like, I mean, like you said, you don't want to see anybody get hurt, so you're gonna like cut it off before it even.
Yeah, but let's not forget when Congo fought Pat Barry. Yeah. Okay, that fight should have been stopped. But then if it was stopped, Pat Barry wouldn't have had a chance to come around and win, because Czech Congo had him almost knocked out. Almost every referee in corner, I would have stopped it. I would have thrown the towel. And then Pat Barry wouldn't have had a chance to win and make double what he made and have that kind of win. So when you stop a fight, don't forget, sometimes a guy gets his ass whooped 5 rounds and then he knocks the guy out with 10 seconds left. Remember the Korean guy when he fought that Mexican guy?
Was that Cub Swanson?
No, it wasn't Cub Swanson. It was the Mexican guy that ended up poking. Whose eye did he poke? And then he complained.
Oh, why am I blanking on the name so hard now?
Yeah, but anyway, that fight should have been stopped, and it wasn't. And then he ended up winning in like 10 seconds to go. So
yeah, with the Batman elbow.
Yeah. So I mean, it's easy to say that, like, stop a fight, but then you're stealing the fight away from. You're taking all chance away from your fighter from winning. And don't forget, in MMA, you make twice as much, and sometimes that twice as much. I mean, what if you're making 200 grand for a fight? Say you're say that that Anthony was making 200 grand for the fight. Okay, that means he would have made 400 grand if he won, and 200 grand if he loses. That's a big difference. You can buy like 4 houses in some states for that much money and have rental property. So you just took that away from them by stopping it too early. So when people say, "Hey, you're such a good coach, you stop it really early, you care about your fighters," okay, but then I also take the chance of winning away from them where they could have provided for their family better. So it's not better or worse, it's just different.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, you're talking like 400 grand. I started thinking even scaling it back a little bit. Like, think of the guys lower on the card. Like, where are they making, like, 10 to show and 10 to win or something like that? Like,
like Anthony Smith?
No, I'm talking about like the undercard guys, like those guys. Like, even I'm talking about for them as well. Like, they're still motivated to fight.
Oh yeah, they're making. I don't think anybody's making 10 and 10. I think they're making more than that. But yeah, I know what you're saying. But no matter what it is, whether it's 10 grand or 200 grand, that's a lot of money either way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, what wouldn't you do? What wouldn't you do for 100 grand? I bet there aren't too many things.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying, like, if Anthony Smith was going to make 200 grand already, he'll be okay. If this other guy's making less, like, it might be the difference between him, like,
but and it's all relative. If you're making 200 grand, bumping that up to 400 grand is doubling it. So it's like, it's a shit ton more. So
right. Massive improvement to your life.
So my point is, it doesn't make me a better trainer. It just makes me a different trainer.
I hear that. And I mean, because like, sometimes it's good for the coach to know what's better, because the fight, like you said, the fighter's just gonna fight. They're not gonna want it. Like, they have the I think even like you're talking about Dominic Cruz. I think he said that he had spoken to the ref like before the fight, like directly. It was like, do not stop it unless I'm like dead. Like don't. That's like part of why he got so pissed at him. Like when he stopped it, and he was like, I was still moving, I was fine. Just, but yeah.
If you
And,
tell
like, oh,
if you tell a coach if you tell a trainer, I mean a referee, don't stop it until I'm dead. I mean that's just, I mean, they're gonna stop it. That's like saying, okay, even if I lose this round, even if I lose, you tell the judge, even if I lose the round, let me win the round. You can't tell a referee that, because he has to go by what he's taught and what he's, that's like, you say, like, if the guy's on top of me, like, tell the referee, tell the judges, if he's on top of me the whole fight, that's my plan. So let me win anyway. You can't tell a ref that. The ref is gonna
right,
stop it because he feels like you're hurt or you're not hurt. Not, you can't tell him that. So
right,
because then if he got hurt, right, and then say he got a brain injury, right, which he probably had because that's why he smelled alcohol, which wasn't there. So he had a brain injury.
oh really?
Yeah, remember he said he smelled like the referee.
Yeah. I just that's all I heard. I didn't know that was
Yeah, I think it's because sometimes when you get a brain injury, you smell things that aren't there. But anyway, um, say he got put in a coma. The referee can't
right,
go. And then the referee should have stopped it. He was getting the shit kicked out of him. He didn't stop it because Dominic told him not to. I just rather die to. So now he's in a coma, and then the referee is fucking in front of the court, and he's going,
right,
well, Dominic told me to let it go on. You can't tell him to let it go on.
right. In
The
front of the
referee
court,
has to stop it. He has to stop it when he thinks he should, no matter what you say ahead of time. So that's just dumb.
right. I agree. I mean, that's exactly. That's the rest job to do what they do, and even like, that reminds me because otherwise you get situations like what was that fight that it was a women's fight. Mario Yamasaki was reffing that like I remember just like went on like for way too long, and he said something. He made a statement afterwards like, "Oh, I was giving her the chance to be a warrior." It's like that's what this job is.
They're,
Like I mean, but see
they're
them
a
get in
warrior as soon as they step in the cage. Because,
exactly.
yeah, and this isn't just an MMA fight. This is a UFC fight. So once you make it to the UFC, you're already at the top of the food chain. So you've already
Right,
proved yourself out there. So you're already a warrior. You don't go in like your first fight, you're testing it out. You have a warrior mentality just to get in the cage for the first time, but it might not be for you. So you might like, take a dive or, tap real quick or something like that because it's not for you. But by the time to make it to the UFC, you're a warrior. So you don't have to prove anything anymore.
exactly. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I mean, speaking of getting to the top level, I mean, so what do you think next for Glover here? Like after this win,
It all depends on two people. Um, it depends on the matchmaker, and it depends on Dana.
yeah,
That's
you
all.
have
So who knows?
yeah, you don't have your eye on anybody in particular that like
No,
you think they might be on a collision course or something or
no. I think
similar.
I don't know. Maybe that. No, maybe that Reyes guy, Dominic Reyes, or what's his name? Dominic Reyes. Reyes,
Yeah,
right?
Dominic Reyes. Yeah, the one that just fought John, lost
Yeah.
the decision. That'd
Yeah.
be a
Maybe
hell of
so.
a fight.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe that one, or I don't even know that many guys out there. Ian. There's like a Polish guy.
Jan Blachowicz.
Yeah, maybe him. I don't know who, man. Whatever. I mean, it'll come from. I mean, unless Glover calls someone out, a lot of times Dana and the matchmakers will, look for that guy because they want to. If you call someone out, they really like that. But I don't think. I don't think Glover really cares. We talked about it. He'll fight
No,
whoever.
yeah, yeah. Glover just kind of seems down for whatever. So like,
Yeah,
whatever happens.
he is. He is. He is. So
Kind of
yeah,
like Cowboy in that way. What do you think of? Oh, what do you think of that one? Cowboy versus Pettis. Did you see that?
yeah. I don't know what I thought. Who won? Because I think it was so
Pettis won.
close. What?
It was Pettis won. I mean, I
I
thought
thought,
Cowboy won, but I mean, I might just be a little
yeah,
biased.
yeah. I think he kind of won, but I mean, I could see either way. So if I was in the corner for either one, I wouldn't have complained either way. I don't think it was. I don't think it was decisive either way. So, but
No.
but if I was a judge, I probably would have given it to Cowboy. But if I was in Pettis, if I was in Cowboy's corner and Pettis won, I wouldn't have complained.
Yeah. No, that's one that was just like, it was just a good match. I think the fans won.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was just thinking. Oh yeah, back to light heavyweight for a minute, because I was thinking John keeps talking about moving up to heavyweight. I guess the next thing is he's gonna try to fight Francis Ngannou for bags of cash.
Oh
So
yeah.
I mean,
Oh, John Jones. Yeah.
yeah, that could leave things wide open.
I don't even pay attention when it's John Jones right now because I'm a firm believer that once you've been busted for steroids, nothing you've done in the past or you're gonna do in the future means anything anymore. Because
Yeah.
I think you just cheated so much that I don't think any accomplishment you've had means anything. I don't think you can call him the best fighter of all time or anything because he's done steroids. So it's like, I just don't think. I think that takes away everything from your accomplishment in the past and in the future. So I don't really. I used to think he was like the best fighter out there, but then the first time he got busted, it was steroids, and then I realized he's been doing it and he continues to do it. So I think all his accomplishments are tarnished.
Yeah. Keep
Yeah.
finding more and more picograms. Put an asterisk.
It's like if anybody thinks that he's as good as he could be, like if anybody thinks the steroids didn't make him as good as he is, then
Yeah.
with that, if you're smart at all, then you have to realize that Arnold Schwarzenegger would look like he does in his prime without steroids. And of course, everyone's going to say, no, that's steroids. Of course. Well, then he couldn't have been where he was without steroids. And then you could say, well, Jose Canseco would have had just as many home runs without the steroids. And then nobody's going to say that because they know without the steroids, he wouldn't have had as many home runs. And with that said, you can't then, if you put those two together, that means John Jones couldn't have done all he accomplished without steroids, because it makes all those sports that much better. The only difference is in a combative sport like MMA, it makes you be able to hurt your opponent more than you could have without the steroids. So it's the exact same thing. Not even something like it. It's the exact same thing as if you go in with a baseball bat and fight a guy without a baseball bat.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Definitely an unfair advantage. I mean, that's tough. Like that's one. Man, what was I just thinking of? You mentioned somebody else in the middle other than John, and it reminded me of something. I lost it.
Like Jose Canseco or Arnold Schwarzenegger, or there was.
Yeah. Okay. No. Well, part of it, like Schwarzenegger's success. Well, it was like kind of off topic, but like the reason, like Schwarzenegger, the thing with him was like everybody was on the juice, and he was still biggest, baddest one.
Right. So yeah, but with that said, but he's the biggest known one. So imagine if none of them were on steroids, then they just look like kind of like a little buffer than us, not even that much. So
standing next.
Right. So would he have been? Yeah. Would he have? What if Arnold didn't do the steroids and everyone else did? Do you think he'd even be in the top 1,000? No. So without the steroids, nobody would have made it. But the difference is they're not hurting someone else because of their steroids. They're just trying to look better. And who cares? Just like that bicycle rider. Who the fuck cares if they do steroids and they're riding a bike? They're going to win more, but they're not going to hurt anybody. In fighting, it should be illegal and punishable like assault, because they're hurting someone where they couldn't have hurt him, like they couldn't have hurt him without. It's just, if he came in with a baseball bat and hit his opponent, he would go to jail. So why doesn't he go to jail for getting that much stronger and faster with steroids? I think they should all go to jail that do it.
Yeah, that's true. That is like going in like with an outside weapon. Like I was thinking like in the WWE, just going in with a steel chair or something. Like it's
Why is it different? It's no different if you think about it, because it makes you bigger, stronger. It makes your bones denser. It makes you recover quicker. So you have such an unfair advantage to those guys that don't do it. Then oh my God, my dog's farting. So it should be illegal. I think in most sports, non-contact sports, who cares? You know what I mean? Because they're not hurting each other. Who cares who can ride a bike faster? But in this sport, unless everybody is doing it and mandatory doing it, then nobody should do it. Either everyone should do it or no one should do it.
Yeah, like nobody cares if you're like cracking more home runs. Like that doesn't hurt anybody. Let them do all the steroids. Baseball in the 90s. Awesome.
I think football is very close to a martial art, and you actually hurt some people, and you can really hurt people with more steroids. So I think football and MMA, boxing, kickboxing, even wrestling, it should be treated like assault, and you should go to jail if you do it.
Yeah, contact sports for sure.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, if like anything that's gonna increase your ability to hurt somebody, it's like, it doesn't matter. Playing soccer, take some EPO and run around more. Why not?
Yeah.
Not hurting that. Make the game more.
Yeah, basketball would be great. Run around up and down the thing and don't touch each other. Basketball, if they like touch each other, the guy hurts his pinky a little and he's like carried off the court and shit, and he's crying, sprains his ankle a little. They carry him off and he's crying, and he's a hero if he hobbles back on there and plays. In fighting, man, they're fucking bleeding and they got cuts here and cuts there and fucking broken hand, and they're still fighting. And that's just the norm. That's just the norm. That's the norm. So,
like that Anderson Silva, they're like, hey, it's normal. Normal.
Yeah, remember his broken leg?
Yeah, normal.
Yeah. So that's how I feel about it.
Yeah. Well, we were talking before about your gym's opening back up soon.
Today.
Yeah. How you feeling about that?
I mean, it's kind of nerve-wracking because of all the. They're so divided, and some people have these crazy ideas, and they want to be politically correct. So it's like, wear your mask. The mask is the stupidest thing in the world. We had a guy in our own town fucking get stabbed yesterday because two fucking criminals that they probably let out of prison because they might. I'd rather inmates all got coronavirus than get let out so they can commit more crimes on innocent people wearing masks. Because now, if we don't wear a mask, we're a criminal. But a criminal is forced to wear a mask so they can commit more crimes and get away with it. They stabbed a guy in our town that worked at 7-Eleven. They stabbed him multiple times because they're forced to wear a mask, right? So these criminals are getting out of prison going, wait, the governor says we have to wear a mask? Oh my God, he is so fucking stupid. He's going to make us even more criminal. We're going to be more efficient criminals because of our governor. Yay! So they put the masks on. They get out of prison because they might catch this cold, right? And then they get out of prison. They put a mask on, and then they start stabbing and killing and raping and molesting. And it's like with a mask on, and we can't recognize them. In the old days, anybody wearing a mask, they got to be a criminal. So we're going to call the cops, right? But now everybody has to wear a mask, or we'll call the cops. So
Right.
it's the dumbest thing in the world now. It's a heaven. It's a haven and a heaven for convicted, for child molesters, rapists, thieves, burglars, robbers. You know, any take your pick of a felon, and he's in heaven right now because he gets to wear and gloves. They want him to wear gloves. They can't get their fingerprints. They wear a glove and a mask, and they're just gonna wreak havoc on the rest of our innocent, law-abiding citizens. Bing. That's what's happening right. That's the state of our state right now.
Yeah. I know, like it's so tough too, and like I mean, like I know, like they want you to wear the mask, like because it is important not to transfer it and stuff if you can, if you know you have it. But that's the other thing I heard. Like the mask doesn't stop you from getting it, but it stops other people from getting it if you have it. But there's a really good know if you have it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ways to think about it, but you also got to think of this. Number one, you're a criminal is a more efficient and effective criminal, and number two, if we're not exposed to germs, right, and we wash our hands all day, and we wash everything, wipe everything down all day, and wear a mask all day, then it's like one of my fighters. I don't want him to get hurt. Okay.
Right.
So I just tell him to sit there for the 12 weeks of camp and don't spar because I don't want you to pull a muscle. Don't, I don't want you to get cut, and don't hit a bag because you might pull a muscle. So just sit there for 12 weeks. Don't train at all. And then boom, I'll put him in the cage and let's see how he does. That's our immune system. Our immune system is going to be so weak by the time this is over, a fucking flu will kill us. We're gonna catch everything like that now. So I mean, our immune system wants to fight bacteria, wants to fight viruses, wants to fight all germs all the time. So to take that away from us because of such a non-fatal 99.78% of all people that get this get better, just like a cold. It's not like it's killing the masses. This isn't the Black Plague or the Spanish flu. This is not anything like that, you know. So it's a political ploy for whatever reason, and it's causing much more damage than good by these things closing businesses and the mask wearing and shit. It's just creating a population of people who are not only weak already. I mean, most of our people are already weak, beta males and beta females. They're already weak in here. Now their immune system's going to be weak, so they're just going to be sick all the time. When this shit is over and we take off our mask, they're going to start getting sick by everything else. What? Mark my words. Just like mark my words, I said criminals are going to start using these masks for their own benefit in our own town. We live in a beautiful town. And now we got fucking people stabbing people and shit, wearing masks. We can't even recognize them. They're going to get away with murder. People are going to get away with murder.
Yeah. I mean, they already are by the sounds of it. I mean, and to your other point, that's what I feel like. You kind of got to challenge your immune system a little bit every once in a while. I mean, I'll confess. I haven't
all
had
day.
In I don't know how many years.
I've never had one. Never in my life.
Never ever?
Never.
No, I did it when I was younger, but then I grew out of it. Like, I didn't go to the doctor as much, and there was, like, flu season. I was like, nah. Never. I mean, I think I get it, but, like, and every time it comes around, I feel like I never get it as bad as everybody else. That's the other thing. I feel like I might have had coronavirus by now. I was like, I don't know. My nose was stuffy, and I took a weird dump earlier. That might have been it. But you gotta, if you don't expose yourself, you can't beat it. You never find out if you have the antibodies. One of the fighters I follow, Cody Stamen. I think he's a bantamweight. He's funny. I'm friends with him on Facebook because like he came from Michigan, so like I followed him since he was in like the smaller leagues and stuff. But he had the best line. He's like, man, sick of being cooped up in here. I'm gonna go to Walmart, fuck around, lick a doorknob or something, see what this thing's all about.
Yeah.
I was like, that's what you gotta do. You gotta challenge your immune system.
You gotta make it stronger. That's for damn sure. It's gonna. If it's not stronger, it's gonna get weaker. I mean, there's no
Yeah.
two ways about that. Now, if people were like had TB and shit, if they're in my house, I'm gonna make them wear a mask
Yeah.
if they had to be in my house. But if I'm walking around and everybody had TB, I don't know. TB is a shit ton worse than this. You know what I mean? And you know, I've been I'm a registered nurse. I worked in the ER. I worked at the prison.
Oh, really?
So I mean, so you know, I know about viruses. I know about bacteria, and I know about pneumonia. And it's like, okay, you know, the old people are dying all the time, and it's terrible. But I'd rather some old people died a week early than you know 20 million people lose their job and have to go fucking start putting their masks on and robbing places to feed their family. That's what it's going to become. That's what it's going to come to soon.
Right. Like if people don't have money to rely on, like it's going to get ugly. And yeah. No, what else was I going to say about that? Yeah, and it's hard to say, like, especially you were talking about just like the opening of, oh yeah, the old people, like they're gonna die anyway. That was one of the things I heard. Like anybody who is going to die of coronavirus is going to, like, regardless of like lockdown situation, because like you know, they're talking about getting a second wave of this thing, and it might, you know, mutate and change strains or whatever. So like if somebody who's going to die from it, they're going to die from it eventually. And like, so, and we can't stay locked down forever. So
I don't know.
I mean, like,
Our governor thinks we can.
Like and the other thing Joe Rogan, like he said a lot of times, is like the average death for COVID-19 age is higher than the average death rate, like, period, for any reason.
Yeah. And the people that aren't that old, they're sick. They have diabetes, hypertension, obesity. You know, don't be obese. I mean, it's like, it's not that hard not to be obese. You know what I mean? So to be honest, I mean, you know, the diabetes, okay, you know, and that's terrible. You know, the hypertension, that's terrible. The obesity, that's 100%, you know, self-induced. I mean, it's like, you know, it's like you can't, like, if you're an alcoholic, you can't say, well, it's not my fault. You know, being an alcoholic, being obese, being a drug addict, you know, something like that, that's 100% your fault, your choice. Life's about choices. But anyway, so it is terrible. I hope no one dies from it. But I'd rather catch this disease than close my gym for good. I'd rather, you know, your grandma dies a week early than people lose their business and start killing a lot more people are going to die if we stay locked down for a lot of reasons than they are going to die about this pretty much benign virus.
That's the other thing, like, that people don't think about. Like, you're like, oh, you know, you need to save lives by staying inside, but like if we don't like do something about, like, you're like, oh, you're just worried about the economy instead of people's lives. It's like, yeah, but if we don't do something about the economy soon, like, we might not have a life to go back to after this.
There are more people. Try to live in Venezuela, people will change their mind. Yeah. If we're eating, if our old people in the nursing home, we're killing them now. Imagine if there are no more nursing homes, because who's going to pay for it? They're going to be living. These 90-year-old people that are sick are going to be living on the street eating out of garbage cans. Well, I mean, they're not. Where are they going to live? Who's going to pay for their nursing home if their families and no one else has a job? Taxpayers? There's not going to be any taxpayers. You need to have working people to have taxes. And the rich people, they're not going to stay here. They're not stupid. That's why they're rich. They're going to take off. So we're going to have like the 1% that pay most of our taxes. They're fucking gone if none of us pick up any of the, you know, the slack. So it's a no-win either way. So we gotta get out there. I'm gonna start today, and I hope I don't get arrested.
Right. Like, that's the other thing about oh, what was I gonna say? Sorry, I lost my train of thought. The the business is opening back up, and
Without the
No.
business, we're all gonna die. I
Pretty
mean,
much.
it's simple as that. Go to some of these poor countries in like Africa and India and shit. We're here. Our poorest people in America are our fattest people. Just let you think of that.
That's the messed
Can you
up thing,
imagine
right?
that? Now, if you go to Africa, they're like fucking 80 pounds and shit. They can barely walk. The poor people don't eat. Here,
Right.
our poor people don't work, so they eat too much. So
Right.
our poorest people are our fattest people.
Right.
That's how backwards this country is. Now, you take away the earning ability of us that pay for those poor people that are on welfare, etc., that eat too much. Now take away that, those people are going to get skinny, and so will we. And then all
Yeah.
of a sudden, we're going to be doing crazy shit with masks on to feed our families, and it's not going to be good.
It's gonna be Mad Max or something if we don't keeps trending this direction. Well, hey man, super appreciate your time. We just did 42 minutes. That was awesome.
That was awesome.
You have anything you want to plug at the end? I know you got a YouTube channel with all your instructional videos. I've been following some of the hooks.
Pit_master. YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram and Twitter. Pit_master.
Awesome. All right. Well, once again, thank you so much. Appreciate your time, man.
All right. Thanks, brother.
All right. Have a good one, dude.